melanin is popping.
I'll tell you right now, I love my melanin.
There's actually 50 shades of melanin.
Legalize it. Yeah. Melanin.
Da 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 da. 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 Da 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 da.
Polymelanated. 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 Time to pay your taxes.
Taxes.
Time to pay your taxes.
Taxes.
Get that money, yo.
420.
Boom, 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 boom,
420.
Make Uncle Sam mad. He's gonna come after you.
It's
IRS.
deductible.
420. Are y'all okay?
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah, cause
Why are you saying 420?
yeah. Why are you saying 420?
Isn't that the deadline?
415.
415.
I was like, that's
My bad.
something else.
I was like,
April
girl.
15th.
Wait, it's
Right.
funny because I was like
I was
rocking
like,
with it. That was all like,
That's what people
something's not right about this, but you
5
know.
days after they
Yeah.
file their taxes.
I don't know
Get
about
it.
this 5.
Well, you know where my brain is. My bad. You guys like to rock again.
No, I say we leave.
I say we leave it. I'm gonna
and
leave
leave
all
all
of
of this in there too.
I'm gonna leave all of this in there. Hey guys, welcome
Okay,
back to.
415.
Okay, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Highly Melanated. PJ Tubman here.
What? Yushi Bethune.
High as a kite red.
What?
What?
Did you not,
Sorry.
do you not get
Oh.
what's happening?
Sorry, I mean tax preparator. Sorry.
I still don't think you got it.
No,
He's
no.
PJ Tubman.
Oh no, I can no. Damn, sorry.
Okay.
I'm Yushi Bethune.
Can't you at least be like Red Douglas or somebody?
Fine, Red Douglas.
Hey, take mine though. Okay, that's fine. And I'm that was mine. I'm Blair Parks.
And in the studio today, we are joined by.
Von Douglas.
Hey,
Okay.
what's going on, Bon?
Garvey.
Garvey.
AKA Von Williams. Welcome to the studio.
Hey.
Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Highly Melanated, where we melanate your palate and feed your soul.
Feeding your soul.
Mm.
Making you full and fat.
Fat bone.
Full and satisfied.
Thank you. You know, I'm trying to already lose a couple. I put my business all out there. As always, guys, you can follow us on Instagram at Highly Melanated Podcast. You can email us any comments, questions, concerns, voice memos, any of that information at Highly Melanated Podcast at gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, Black Twitter, at H_melanated pod.
And good evening, everyone. It is Red Jeeves again. And I am here to give you guys a toast. I would like to go around the room and actually decide what you guys would like to drink. Before I get started, I want to actually mention this special for today, and that is all about taxes. Okay, sounds pretty good. Could I start with a drink with you guys? Anybody? A toast?
I would like a let's do I'm gonna go back to my signature mocktail. Haven't had this in a while, but just a little bit of pineapple juice with a splash of grenadine and some tonic water, please. Thank you.
That sounds perfect for you, madam.
It is. It is. Thank you.
And what would your toast?
I would like to give a shout out to a friend of mine / coworker, Shamika Cole. She's been rocking with the podcast for a while, and she was telling me the other day just how much she actually goes back and she re-listens to the 3 episodes of Black Love that we did. Like, she'll play them like over and over again because those are her favorite episodes. So shout out to you, Shamika. Thank you for rocking with us. And I told you I'd give you your shout out.
Shout out, Shamika.
Wow, shout out.
Miss Cole.
So I'd like to give my toast, and let me get. Let's see. What does my liver reject today?
Wow.
Is that safe, sir?
Let me get. I like whiskey, so I guess I'll just get a whiskey ginger.
Whiskey ginger?
Because I'm gingered.
Of course, a ginger for the ginger.
A ginger for ginger.
Wow. Black gingers mean things. Okay. I want to give my toast, and actually it's a belated toast. And it actually ties into Vaughn being here. I want to give my shout out and my toast to our brother Roscoe Boyd II, who won an award for with Gay City News for everything that he's done within the community. He's a very important leader when it comes to the U equals U campaign, which is undetectable equals untransmittable. And it was great. We went to an event that we were there to support him, as well as all the things that Gay City News actually does for members of the community. So if anybody knows of anybody that you actually want to nominate for Gay City News, where they actually do things, give people awards for all of their efforts within the community, within the LGBTQIA plus community, what you would do is go to www.gaycitynews.com/GCN 2020 nomination. And you just fill out a little form there. And what you would do is you would, if you know anybody who's doing great things in the community, like let's just say you want to nominate PJ Ryan, then you would just fill that information out and then send it in. So I'm not lobbying for PJ Ryan because I'm PJ Tubman today. But if he was, wanting, I'm just saying, vote.
Yeah, so I would actually like to have a Voss water with some pomegranate, mint, and cucumber, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you, kind sir. My toast goes out to the Empress Beyonce. And I say that because she is doing this deal with Adidas. She also has Homecoming coming out on Netflix. So yes, more of Beychella. And then also we're going to see Blue Ivy and we're going to see Rumi and Sir in it. So I look forward to more of the reign of the Empress.
Yes, Queen Bee.
All right. Like when does she not deserve a toast?
Okay.
And Vaughn.
Yes.
Would you like to give a toast? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't. Actually, this week, I don't like anyone.
Wait, sidebar, pause really quick. So just so everybody's aware, the way he just actually laughed was just very, like the face he gave and
Very
everything.
in character.
Yeah, he stays in character. So yeah, Vaughn, would you like to give anybody?
Yeah, sure. So I'll have Hennessy on the rocks.
Yeah.
All righty then. I mean,
right now.
We already know where this is going.
I'm sorry. That sounds fantastic, madam.
Straight no
Thank you very much.
chaser.
Straight no chaser. A little ice. And I would like to toast you guys for having me on the show and for what you guys actually do in the community and bringing awareness to different subjects. I've listened to your podcast and I'm very impressed. And I really enjoy listening as well.
Thank you. No, for real. Thank you.
Thank
that's
you.
so
We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
that.
a lot.
Thank
That
you.
means a lot.
No, thank you. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm serious.
Dopeness.
Okay.
Wow, it's amazing.
Okay, so I forgot.
You forget.
I did.
See,
I forgot.
so
All
that's gonna be
right.
the new thing now.
Yeah.
Don't you come for Blair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Especially since I'm about to do this from memory.
Oh, she's about to do it from off the rip.
man.
Let's see.
All right, guys, we're about to move into our melanated senses. As you know, that's the time when we like to acknowledge the 5 different things that we might have experienced throughout the week that is highly melanated, things that we might have seen, touched, smelled, tasted, or heard.
Did you really, yo, did she really have to give you those eyes? Though?
Booyah.
Damn. It
That's
was like,
that's that mic drop with
She
the
shot
eyes.
a, she
That's
shot
what
a
that
look at
was.
him like,
yo,
I still got
you should have
it.
seen it. You should have seen it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Does anybody have a melanated sense that they'd like to share?
Well, I'll start this one off. I would like to share today, actually. It was pretty fucking-tastic. It was a group of kids on the 2 train. And number one, you know, the 2 train.
Mm-hmm.
There was a group of kids that was on the 2 train, and they was just sitting there. Like, this is early in the morning getting ready to go to work. And 6 old ladies got on the train, and every last one of those kids made it like a point to like let them know that here you can have these seats.
Yes.
And they gave up their seats,
Nice.
and
talking
without
about-
even
Yes.
asking, without even like I saw one. He just tapped his friend, and they just kept tapping each other, and they just all just like they were pledges. They just all stood up at the same time.
2 young men. I love
You know,
it.
I love it. I love it when, especially when I see it, and they were multiracial. As a multiracial group, but it was all
beautiful.
older black women. So that was
That's amazing.
you better.
It's impressive.
Wow.
They were raised right.
Were they boys, girls?
Boys, all boys.
See, chivalry is not dead. It's not dead.
That's right. Tell them again.
It's stomped on a bit, but it ain't dead.
That's right. Chivalry did not fall on his sword.
Oh, that's wonderful. Does anybody else have a melanated sense they'd like to share with the group?
Red.
Mine is actually another Subway story, actually.
Well, come on then, MTA. Sponsor us.
I know, like, about time they're doing something. No, I think the only thing that I saw recently was just I love to see like when we just all help each other out. So similar to your story, PJ, when everybody got up to just offer their seats. There was a guy that was coming up the stairs or about to come up the stairs with a stroller, actually. And then the baby was still in the stroller, dead asleep. So I was coming off, and I'm behind the guy, and I couldn't catch up fast enough to be like, all right, let me like help you out. You know, he's a guy, so he's just like, I'm just gonna lift it up and just like, I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. Like, you should be making sure that the baby's safe and all that stuff like that. But there was another young black gentleman that was coming down the stairs, and he beat me to him. He was like, you got it, bro? You got it? And he was like, nah, I'm good. And he was just like, I just want to make sure I'm respect. And like, he just kept it moving, and I just like really appreciate just like really simple, nice things. Cause you don't need to do, everything by yourself. I think that's a very big misconception in our community that, I just got to do it because I got to be a man, or I could do better all by myself. I don't need no baby daddy. Like, no, take, you know what I mean? Like, people have like
The baby daddy though?
But it's the truth. So like, offer to help when people give it to you. And I think that was beautiful.
And then even just what we were saying with like the guy even offering to help in the first place.
Yeah.
I think so many people have been like, oh, he's a guy, he got it, and like kept it moving, but the fact that he actually like said, yo, bro, do you need a hand?
Right.
Kind of thing, instead of just assuming that he had it.
Right.
So
I mean, coming soon, we're gonna have an episode about just how we had our sisters keeper, brothers keepers. We needed to, so that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
amen.
Well, Father's Day is coming in June, so
It is.
hint, hint, hint.
Be on the lookout.
To be on the lookout.
There might be some special daddies on the phone.
Oh,
Not mean daddies with a D.
Not Zaddy with a Z.
I was like, really?
we all was like, oh, okay. So I would actually like to share a melanated sense. I'm elated. I'm overjoyed. Oh,
She's
God.
orgasmic. She's orgasmic.
I am so jubilant by this win. The NCAA men's final. Shout out to my home state, VA.
Yo,
Yo,
you really should see
the
her.
University of Virginia got the first win. Their first win in the NCAA men's final. They played the Texas Tech Rangers. Virginia Cavaliers won 85-70. NXT. So a season after becoming the first number 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed in the men's basketball tournament, the Cavaliers watched a 10-point lead turn into a 3-point deficit before DeAndre Hunter, with his fine self, came to the rescue, and he made the game tying 3-point shot with 12 seconds left in regulation. Then made another with just over 2 minutes left in the extra period to give the Cavs the lead for the night, baby. DeAndre Hunter got 27 points, 9 rebounds. Ty Jerome, 16 points, 8 assists. Kyle Guy with the 3 points, 24 points, 3 rebounds. And Mama D Diakite, 9.7 rebounds. And let me tell y'all something. I know they was partying in Virginia last night, but I know for sure they was partying in Guinea on behalf of Mama D Diakite, okay? They was getting it in Guinea. I wonder what their parties was like. Like, I wonder how they was turning up. How y'all turn up in Guinea? Like, let me know, because I just want to find out something. Because Mama D is kind of fine, too. No disrespect to his girl. She cute, but he fine.
Thank you for throwing that in there.
Oh, yeah.
So, Vaughn.
Yes.
Do you have a melanated sense maybe that you might want to see or, share? I'm still so hooked on giving it, right? Yeah.
I would love to, but I have been in my office and home. And so I'd like to share a nap with somebody.
Hello.
Well, okay.
Black people need more naps. So, shit, I'm
absolutely. Those are
I heard
facts.
that.
Yeah, so if you got one,
I'm with
or
that.
a spare one, please.
Right, throw it this way.
Yeah, throw it to me. I'll catch it, I promise.
Straight up Heisman trophy. Like.
I promise you I'll catch it. I'll catch it.
But I'm sure there's some beautiful blackness going on in home, at least.
She's in Jamaica.
Did you just roll your eyes?
I sure did.
She was all like, "How dare you?"
She said I wasn't going.
I was gonna omit that, but
Right.
So, today, I ran around a lot, so I had to come in the kitchen and take something out the freezer that had been marinating. Had to marinate for a little bit. So I said, you know what, let me take this out and just put this on the stove and cook that down right quick. Make that bust down. So what we're going to have tonight is a little bit of curry chicken with some plantains, rice and peas, and some cabbage.
That sounds so good right now.
Bust down, Tatiana.
I was gonna say bust down curryana.
Cut it down.
I was gonna say bust down curryana.
Break it up, then tit it
Yes.
down.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
And I
I'm
got
ready.
a little fancy with this one. You know, I did the little red Indian curry, so it's spicy. So have your water on deck.
Okay.
All right now.
All right. So thank you for that meal. Like we about to serve this up, guys. So as you heard right now, we have a special guest in the studio, Vaughn Williams. As we discussed earlier, the special of the day was taxes, and
Because it's about that time.
you know what it is.
Down to the wire.
Down
April
to
15th, 4/15.
For clarity.
Not to be
Literally,
confused with another
which
famous
means-
holiday that occurs in April.
Yes. Puff
You
pass.
got 4 days, y'all. 4 days. Y'all got 4 days. 4 days.
Yeah, 4. We have Vaughn Williams. She is a tax accountant and a business coach, and she's here to give us some real important tips that just real important information that we should know.
How about we start off with you just telling us a little bit about how you got into this as a career?
Okay, sure. So this is not my first career. My first career, actually, I'm an engineer. I'm a sound engineer, actually, by profession. But as I've gotten older, being in the studio and running cable, setting up shows and that sort of thing was, getting to me. I'm getting older, So after I stopped doing that, and I still do it, at my church or wherever, wherever I'm needed and wanted. But and the jobs stopped coming because I'm kind of in a transition period. So my mom said, hey, why don't you just go, take the H&R Block tax class and, I'll pay for it, whatever. Just go do it. And I had already been doing like bookkeeping and, helping people out with their financial situations, just, because, I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of good at it anyway. So people would come to me with their financial issues. How do I get myself out of debt? How do I do my bookkeeping for my business. How do I keep account of all of this stuff? And so that was just kind of the icing on the cake. And that was back in 2009. And so I've been doing this for about 10 years. And, sound and music is always going to be my first love, but I just needed something a little less taxing on the body, if you will.
See what you did there.
I was all like,
Less
that's
taxing
good.
on the body.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nutty as a fruitcake. I'm crazy right now, but
It's so crazy right now.
listen. So, but it's I don't have to. It doesn't take me 2 days to recover from being beat up at a show or something like that. So, that's just kind of how I got into it, and then I actually kind of started to love it. I know that sounds a little weird, but
It's not weird.
yeah, I actually started to love it and got more and more into it. And really, instead of just preparing taxes and getting people refunds, like there's a whole science underneath this whole thing. Like at the bottom of it, the tax law is written for business owners, by business owners. So therefore, if we were to have a small business or if we're an independent contractor, now the government looks at us like a small business. And in this year moving forward, that's going to be very important. So if I'm just use a hypothetical, so if big business can take 400 or so different deductions, guess what the independent contractor can do? Can also take the same deductions. Whereas, a 9-to-5er who has, used to be able to take mortgage deductions and charitable giving and this sort of thing, they've moved up to standard deduction such that you'll never get to it. And so those deductions don't even mean anything anymore. However, if you have a small business or side hustle or call it whatever you want, you can now take those same deductions from your side hustle. And now you won't owe, or you won't owe as much. And so Damon John says that that small business or entrepreneurship is the greatest equalizer. Well, that could not be more true now. So I just dropped a couple of hints. I hope everybody got that.
It's really interesting that you say that, though, because especially in this room, we're all actors and
Right.
entertainers and whatnot. And the thing that I hear so much of is to like my boyfriend, for example, like he gets all of his checks in his LLC. Like he created himself as a business, acting as a business. So instead of the checks coming to him as a person, they come to his business because that's better for him tax wise. So I mean, let me back up a little bit. So you do tax preparation, but then it also sounds like you do tax consultation and advising as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay. So now I'm about to utilize you as a personal advisor.
Come on, let's
right
go.
now, because I have a W-2 through CUNY.
Yes.
So I'm a city employee, but then I also am an entrepreneur doing acting and modeling. So I get W-9s from there. And I've been filing my own taxes since I started doing this and before. But what I'm worried about specifically for this year is those itemized deductions. I can't claim as much as I don't meet the standard deduction like I did last year because they changed it so drastically. So I'm already thinking okay, well, this year is just what it's going to be. But for next year, what would you say would be some of the best things that I should do? Should I, create my own business and start putting all my checks in into my business account?
Did you get any 1099s at all?
I did.
Oh, well, just take those same deductions that you used to itemize and put them on your business profit and loss statement, which is just Schedule C. Just move it over.
Okay.
Same stuff.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump in here right now, and we're going to do this for Taxes for Dummies. And I too as well am in this, we're all in the same boat for the most part, but this is the first year that I've even filled out a W-9. If you can do just a quick overview of these different forms and what they're for the listener, if they're not aware of what they do or why you need said form.
Got it. All right. So the 1040 is the standard form. They have changed the 1040. So it's just a 1040. It's not a 1040 Easy, not a 1040A anymore. It's just a 1040. Everybody files a 1040. That is the federal form. Okay. Everybody files that. Here in New York, we fill out an IT-201, which is the New York form, okay? And everybody in New York files that form as well. If you live in New York or live in New Jersey and you work in New York, you got to fill out a New Jersey 1040. Right, New Jersey 1040, so that's 2 states. So you work in one, you live in the other, so you're getting double tax state, but it's a non-resident form that you file for New York, which is an IT-203.
Are y'all keeping up?
I'm
Just
already
hit rewind if you
Go
need to
ahead
catch
and
that
just
again.
write it
I'm
down.
already feeling like I am talking a lot.
No,
No, that's what we want. We want you to be talking a lot.
You're good.
You'd be
Because I
surprised
actually had to do that same form because I live in New York, but my address is still registered to a different state. So I had to fill out this non-resident form. And I began to learn about these different types of things. So no, please explain, because there's a lot of people that don't understand that. And then a lot of people also don't understand that when you move to different states that you have to learn the tax laws to know what forms you actually have to be filling out and what you need to do during the time of like when you're working for a job and you have to have certain taxes taken out. Like I learned the hard way with Pennsylvania that they do like a local tax, and that was like it came back to bite me, and I had no idea, and I was like, "What is this?"
That Berkshire tax that they like to. It's not even a local tax. It's some sort of weird state thing that happens. Yeah, I haven't figured it out. It really is. It's like not necessary, but Pennsylvania is a commonwealth. It kind of can do whatever they want to do. But I do want to say this to actors, singers, performers that perform in different states. You may end up getting a W-2 or 1099 along with a Utah form, an Oregon form, a California form, Pennsylvania form. So you'll have your state form, which is New York. But if you work in all these other places, then you got to fill out a California non-resident, a Utah non-resident.
Right.
So yeah, I just did one the other day. She's traveling with a show. I can't remember what it is, but she had 9 different states. And it was a bear. She owed in some of the states, and some of them she didn't. It was a bear. But if you don't know that, and you try to do it on TurboTax, and not for nothing, like I dig TurboTax. I have nothing against TurboTax at all. It's very good if you know what you're doing. It does ask you questions. Did you have donations? Did you have a small business? Did you have tuition? Did you have student loan interest? It will ask you all of these questions. However, there does get to a certain point that it just doesn't help you anymore, and so that's when you get to call me, which is fine. And I even help people through their TurboTax.
Well, I might be calling you because I use TurboTax.
No, that's fine. I'll help you. The bottom line is that we live in America, and we got to file taxes. So,
right.
Or you don't got to, but there's consequences. But anyway,
so that was going to be my next question. So let's just say hypothetically.
All right, I'm listening.
Right.
You're asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking. No. This is okay. Yeah, I'm
asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Yes.
You're so nice to your friends. I appreciate that.
Yeah. She is funny. Yeah. Let's call her Samantha.
All right.
Don't be out here like Wesley Snipes now.
What's good with Samantha?
So let's say Samantha. Let's say Samantha didn't file the year before. Mm-hmm. What did she have to do?
File for that year. File for 2017 and file for 2018. Will be late filing penalties and interest. It's really not enough to yell and scream about, though. Like, you're not going to jail. It's 1%, 2%, something like that. It's not enough to be like just do it.
Let me just drop a draw 4 here, like an Uno, right? Mm-hmm. What if she didn't file for the year before that as well?
File it.
Okay. I'm going to let her know this, and we're going to have a deep conversation.
How?
So then I guess the question is, how far back can you go in reference to filing if you have never filed, but you've worked so many years?
Well, the thing is that it will catch up with you at some point. Mm-hmm. And before, so you haven't filed, I don't know, since 2012. Then you finally file in 2017 and 2018. But all those years that you didn't file, but you did work, the governments, depending on who they are, fed or state, will say, hey, where are these other years?
Excuse me.
Yeah. Where?
Excuse me.
Exactly. And then it's like, well, I didn't file.
I hope it's to an email, not them showing up at your door.
Usually it won't be email. It would be like
A letter and
snail
mail.
A certified
Yeah.
letter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, they will not call you.
No,
That's
they
a
do
fraud.
not call you.
No, they
Listen,
won't.
listen to me, people. The governments will not call you unless you give them permission to call you. Please do not give anybody your information on the phone.
Thank you.
Let your your elders know that the scam artists or whatever really
Yes.
target older people and people who are not necessarily on social media. I don't know how they know that, but you know, they do target, you know, and they're getting the older people. Please pass this information along. Do not give anybody any of your personal information on the phone ever. Yeah, but I did want to say if you say. So now you owe, right? You owe
Samantha
because
owes.
Yes, Samantha owes. Okay, so Samantha owes from 2012. But so she says,
Well,
okay,
that's
check
long.
this out. I wanna put in a payment plan or whatever. They won't do a payment plan until you file those years. Yeah, it's new. So, and it's just a matter of saying, okay, tell Samantha, just tell them, all right, you know what, send me my my earning statements. Not transcripts. Send me my earning statements from those years, and you know I'll get them filed, and then they will set you up on a payment plan. But then you may not owe. You might get a refund, and you may not get the refund because you owe the penalties and interest. So
All right, so I'm gonna drop a wild card on this one too.
all right.
So let's say that Samantha was in need, right? So what she did, poor child, is she raised her dependents
Okay.
to an exorbitant amount for much longer than she should have.
Did she have social security numbers for those dependents?
Well, I can't
Oh,
speak for
Lord.
Samantha. I don't know what the hell she does. I know she just let me know that she's in trouble.
Right. So
Oh,
that
Lord.
means that she probably kept most of her money.
Yeah, she kept all of her
She
money.
kept
So
all
she
of her-
owes. She owes.
Okay. So then
Samantha got to get rich.
Samantha will owe, and once Samantha has caught up and gotten herself squared away with the two or three different entities, then she can set up a payment plan and pay it back.
All right, Samantha. I'm gonna tell you this later, but
Is
you
there-
listen too,
Hopefully
so you
she
know.
listening.
No, she does listen. She does listen.
Oh, good. Shout out to you, Samantha.
Shout out to Samantha.
Shout out to you, Samantha. So I have a question that I noticed that happened with me personally. Every year previous to this year that I filed, I always received a nice tax return where I was like, yeah, I could do something with that. I'm single, no children. So this year I filed and I literally got back $26. And I was like, what is that? That's not even gas money. That's not even a weekly Metro card. But I don't have any property. I used to have a business, but I don't have a business now anymore. So, and I noticed that you mentioned, and this is kind of like a loaded question. So I noticed that you mentioned that it's a new law when that you have to file all of your previous years in order to be able to set up a payment plan. So is this new tax law a reason why people in my situation are no longer receiving refunds?
The new tax law is the reason why the refunds are less. It doesn't have anything to do necessarily with previous years filing or not filing. It is
Okay.
And they've also slid the scale for the tax brackets. So if you're in middle America, middle income, with no
Can you
deductions.
Identify what qualifies as middle income? Because I think a lot of people don't know what's low, middle, and high.
All right. So below the poverty line is like $13,000 or less. And that's single children. I mean, that's kids, no kids. That's, you know, I don't know who can live off of that
Nobody.
Anywhere in the United States.
Yet somehow
Ever.
people are doing it.
I'm from North Carolina. It doesn't happen.
North Carolina. What part of North Carolina are you from?
I'm from Reedsville, North Carolina.
Reedsville.
Reedsville?
It's right outside of Greensboro.
Yes, I
Yeah,
used to live in
family
Chapel Hill.
Did you really?
Greensboro?
Yeah,
My brother,
for 3 years.
sister lives in Greensboro.
Greensboro, yep.
Yeah,
So,
Greensboro.
yeah.
All right, back on subject.
Okay,
Sorry.
so here we go. So yeah, so from and then from 13,000 to about $33,000 or so. I don't remember the exact numbers, but that's like just above poverty. So, so you know, it doesn't level off yet. You may get a half decent refund according to what you put in. Basically, you're going to get out what you put in, right? So once you start moving into your 30,000s up to about 55,000, that's when your refunds start to disappear, because now we're starting to reach the point where, you know, the percentage or the tax liability is starting to disappear. It's a weird math. Just stay with me.
Is that considered middle income?
Nope.
The 33 to 50. Okay.
Nope. So nope.
All right.
Oh my
Still
God.
going. Lord Jesus.
So
Right?
so around 50, 55, 60,000 up to about 125,000, 120,000 or so. That's middle income. Go figure. That's middle income. So those of us that are somewhere in that range are getting it with no grease. It's yeah.
So then those are the people that need to have property and businesses and things like that.
Right. So that's where, but in all actuality, here in New York City, $65,000, we can't afford property.
Nope.
We can't afford a mortgage.
That's true.
You can't even afford to
That's
actually.
true.
No.
In order to live comfortably here
You're
in
right.
New York, you have to at least be making 70 or more.
At least
At least.
70
Minimum.
or more. And that means
And that's still an apartment.
exactly. That's still an apartment, and you get to take yourself out to a really nice dinner once a month.
Once in a month.
Once a month. So
Lord.
So yeah, so if you fall in that category with no real deductions, that's when you know, you're just breaking even. And you know, if you don't owe, I say, you know, like, be grateful that you didn't owe.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
You broke even. And
Ooh, child.
yeah, so them sliding the tax brackets and increasing the standard deduction, that's where the
Bastards.
discrepancy comes. And years before, they would move the standard deduction up a little bit more for inflation. But last year, for a single person, I believe it
went from 6,500 to
Like
12,500.
12,000.
I
Yeah,
know.
12,500.
I always used to itemize my taxes,
Yep.
and then I saw that the single standard deduction is $12,500. I was like, well, there goes my itemizations.
Yep.
Basically.
Right. So we, you know, we don't get anything. So then it go, you know, and I've had people go, oh, I'm going out and get me a child, or I'm going out and get pregnant. I'm like, no, stupid. You make $25,000 a year.
You better tell it how it is, because
You can't afford no child. Are
people
you
be
out of your
just saying
mind?
stuff.
Well, I'll get a bigger tax refund. Who cares about the tax refund? See, here's the other
As long
thing.
as you don't owe.
The refund is an illusion. It is an illusion.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. Pay attention.
Wow.
Do not
Actually, pay close attention.
Pay close attention, because I think you're getting into a very important area, because so often, especially in our community, you know, people are like, oh, I'm waiting on that refund check. I'm waiting on that refund check. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But like you're saying, this whole it's an illusion.
Yeah,
Go
it
into
is.
detail about that.
Huh?
How is it an illusion?
So if we work 9 to 5, and remember what I said, the tax law was written by business owners for business owners. And it doesn't mean that they get big refunds either. They just get to keep most. We get to keep most
They
of our money.
Break even.
We break even, but we keep our money for our purposes. You know, I always say, you know, if I have to owe them, you know, $500-600 at the end of the year, I'm good with that, because I kept all my money and I write off everything.
So
That was another hint.
Yes.
Listeners, write that down.
Listeners, listen to this episode more than 2 times, 3 times. If you
There's
really
a
need to get, there's a
lot
lot of
of
information that's about to
information
be
here.
given out here.
I do.
That's
You
right.
started like leading into something that was like really important. One of the things that I always saw when I was younger was, and I became of age to start filing my own taxes, is that I would go with my parents to file their taxes, and I would do mine separately. Well, we would do it all together, but you know what I mean. I'm an independent now, so, and I would always get back money to a certain extent. I would always get I would always get some type of money back, and they would always wind up owing. So like over the years, I would always say like, wow, like how is it that they always are owing some type of like monies? So I guess my question to you would be, how can we break that illusion to make sure that people understand that, like, you shouldn't be sitting around waiting for this tax return, which doesn't even have a number on it.
Right.
It could be 1,000. It could be
It could be $26.
$22. Right. You know, how do you break that so people know what to expect and they can better manage their money?
All right. So moving forward, do not count on this thing for at least for the next 9 years. 5, 6, 2024.
Lord,
She is literally doing.
you
the
still
math right now.
counting?
Damn.
Yeah. So
She's still
at least
counting.
until 2024.
Take the 2,
do
carry the
not
1.
do not expect any refunds, especially if you don't have any deductions.
Thank you, Trump.
When did this? Is this
Yeah,
from Trump
thank you,
or
Trump.
It's
Obama?
from Trump.
Thank you,
No,
Trump.
No. It's not from Obama. It's from Trump.
No.
No, someone said that once and I didn't believe them. So thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, it's from Trump. So, so the because they moved the tax brackets, that's where even people with children are not getting back the $10,000, $20,000, $12,000 that they used to get back. They're getting back 8 and 9, and they cussing me out. What happened? Hey.
But you getting back 8 and 9 if you don't get out of here.
Man,
But at
you
the
know
same
what?
time, too, that sounds like a big difference to
got
us. But
$26.
that family of 5, like my
Right.
best friend, she and her husband, they have 4 kids. They were used to getting back large sums of money for each one of their kids. And then now, when they need it the most, they got back, I think, like $5,000. When
Yep.
they're used to getting back $12,000, that's huge.
That is huge. But here we go with the illusion.
Right.
Right.
Especially
That's
if you've been-
Exactly.
especially
coming
if
back to the
it's-
illusion.
And that's the thing. You start counting on that, and you
Right.
start continuing that. That
Right.
was the biggest problem. Is all of these tax laws changed, and nobody changed with
Exactly.
it. Nobody changed their
Yeah, their lifestyles
W-2s.
didn't
Nobody changed their
change.
Right.
W-4s to either withhold more money
Right.
or change their deductibles.
Right.
So they're expecting to get back the same thing they got
Exactly.
last year, and that's just not possible.
It's not possible. And with the changing of the tax brackets, I don't know if any of you or if anybody that is listening noticed during 2018 that they may be getting a little bit more money back in their checks and on their paychecks, a little bit more than they were used to getting maybe in 2017 or before that.
I did notice that because I actually had to calculate out the tax taken out versus how much I was getting paid, and I did notice that because there was a time when our company switched from paying biweekly to weekly, and I was like, "Oh, we're getting more money,"
No, that they're actually making.
but
a
it
way
seemed like
around
it was
that.
less. It's weird.
You catch it on the back end, thus the $26.
So I want to.
Yeah, that is a $26.
Yes.
So I want to move on to chapter 2 of Tax for Dummies. We have mentioned quite a bit about tax laws that have changed. Can we just talk quickly about what those tax laws were and then what they are now, or is that a sum up of everything that you just?
That was
mentioned?
pretty much a sum of the biggest things is the standard deduction and the switching of the tax brackets, and I forgot with the mortgage interests. We used to be able to write off the mortgage insurance, and we can't do that
write that
anymore.
off.
My mother mentioned something.
Yeah,
like that.
so,
That's true.
So the property
Yeah.
tax is still good. The mortgage interest is still good. If it meets, if it gets up by the standard deduction, because if it doesn't get to the standard deduction, it still doesn't make a difference. Yeah, and the insurance we used to be able to write off, but we can't write that off anymore.
So
And they're talking about getting rid of the property taxes, the real estate
They
insurance
are.
as well. They're talking
I
about
heard
that.
about that.
Yeah.
Wait. Go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I mean, what do you mean talk about getting rid of property taxes altogether?
No. You still got to pay it, but it's not a deduction
It's not
anymore.
you
It's
can't.
not gonna be
Yeah,
that
not a
option.
deduction. You can't write it off.
Yep,
So
That sucks.
it does.
with there being such a huge change to the tax brackets that you fall into and the standard deduction,
Yes.
I think a lot of people are going to be looking to have as many write-offs as they can. So can you talk a little bit about what are the most common write-offs that people can utilize? And then in your experience, can you talk about things people should be writing off that they're not?
Okay, so if you're a 9 to 5er, And those itemized deductions, again, if they don't reach the standard deduction, it doesn't matter anyway. So city workers used to be able to write off uniforms, uniform cleaning, boots, anything that had to do with their uniform, and they had to like clean it and it's unreimbursed by the job, then, that's out the window. They used to be able to write off travel for work. If it was unreimbursed, it doesn't make any difference now either. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't. Maybe on the state side, but on the federal side, it does not.
Wow.
So these are write-offs that qualify before that don't qualify anymore? Is that what you're saying?
Not if it's not enough to meet the standard deduction or exceed the standard deduction.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that they're changing some of those laws? Like, just in your opinion.
In my opinion.
What happened?
Because I think on top of the illusion that people think that they're going to get this money back, on top of the fact that that their jobs are not really backing them up when it comes to certain things. People are just coming out as a deficit altogether, especially if you're not educated on this topic. So why do you think?
Well, they don't want to give back those refunds. So they're taking your money,
It's all about money.
and they're putting it out into the global economy.
The air quotations.
Yeah, and then they're getting interest or returns on the investments out in the global economy, getting it back now according to the new math.
Air quotations.
So now we're just giving you back a portion, right? I have a client who makes about $130,000. She's single. She has no kids, nothing. She pays out about $25,000 in federal taxes. That's just federal. That's not city and that's not included city and state. Including city and state, she is putting out about $35,000. If I can,
what can she do to claim that? Like, what can she do to make that different? Can she just like open a business or something? Like, what can you do as a single person to like change that?
Well, she could open a business, but she does not have a business. She does not have any children. She has no mortgage. If I can get her $1,000, if I can get her $1,000 back, I have done very well.
Yeah,
I've known people.
Wow,
now those are the cases when they come and sit in my office. When they leave, I cry a little bit because that
hurts.
Yeah.
Then for her it doesn't. I'm sorry. For her it doesn't matter what she claims on her W-4. Then whether she claims 0 or 1 or 2, it doesn't matter at that point.
It matters, but what? If you're up over 6 figures, single, no dependents, and no deductions, take out the, you almost kind of gotta take out the max, or you're gonna owe, and you're gonna owe on top of the $35,000.
So let me ask you, because I want to. We're gonna talk about. Let's just call him Robert.
Okay, cool. Samantha and Robert.
These are
they related?
No, they're not related. And
Okay,
they're from 2 different countries.
Got it.
But they are still melanated. So these are actual people.
We'll
these
take it.
are not me.
Their names have been changed for the protection of the persons.
They had said something on the lines of, and I was just trying to explain how false this is, but if you have these issues, and I know several people who have done this besides Robert, if you make a certain amount and like you don't qualify for a lot and you wanted to, like you said, open your own, like just open up business, it was suggested to open a business and then file for bankruptcy for that business in order to get my face exactly, but this was something that was actually shared to a few people in the community.
I wish you could see Vaughn's face because she rolled her eyes so
what
hard.
credentials do
She
they
was
have?
just like, what kind of dumbness?
So FYI, so I'm bringing up a lot of like scenarios just because these are common questions and common things that I've heard before and I've seen before. And then other people have been like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then just, oh, fuck it. I've been audited twice. So...
So
no more.
So what the person said is probably true on some level, but like they're not educating you on how to, when you can. So there's a backstory to all of that. Yeah, of course, you can file bankruptcy, sure, but if you open a business this year and you have debt from past years, you can't file bankruptcy on past years. You can only file bankruptcy with that business for what it has, what it owns right now. And that's the debt from the time of founding until,
the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, or whenever, or the time that you want to file bankruptcy. Whatever happened before, that's on you personally. Now we also mentioned opening a business, but we don't necessarily have to do that. Like we can be independent contractors. Having an LLC or S corp or whatever other entity you want to have just gives you some padding against liabilities. So if you're a photographer, hypothetically speaking, your liability really isn't that great. But if you drop the camera on somebody and they sue you, now they can come and get your personal assets. If you have a house, they can sue you for your personal assets.
This is if you don't have the LLC.
If you don't have the LLC or the corporation. If you have the LLC,
they can only
take
whatever that business for what it's worth.
The business owns, yes. The camera.
That makes sense. Right.
But they can't take your kidneys and your children and your house, stuff like that.
I just wanted to quickly get back to before we were talking about just what can be deducted or what can be like written off. So you started talking about like certain things that like people used to be able to like claim, but they can't anymore. But just in general, let's say that they're like trying to get to that $12,500 for that standard itemized deduction. What kind of things fall in that realm generally?
Generally, the mortgage interest, again, that's the biggest one. There's charitable giving. So if you are a person who subscribes to the idea of tithing and you make $80,000 and you give $8,000 or $8,500 or whatever, then that can be deducted. So if you're single, you put in, you donate $8,000 and you have a $5,000 mortgage interest. Now you've met it, yeah. Right? And you can write off your tax prep fees, your cell phone for your job.
Can you write off your tax prep fees if you do them yourself, like through like TurboTax or something like that?
TurboTax charges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a line on the Schedule A, which is the itemized deduction. There's a line for tax preparation.
And then also just speaking like as performers and entertainers in the room, there's specific things that like we need to do in order to create and make ourselves marketable. So I know that as a model, like I can write off like my test shoots. I can write off my photos for my portfolio. I can write off subscriptions to casting companies. All of those things fall in that realm, right?
Oh yeah.
Just wanted to verify that
those
with you.
those don't go on that itemized sheet. Those go on your Schedule C, which is your profit and loss from business, because you said you got 1099s, right? You can write off everything. You can write off your headshots, acting lessons, vocal lessons, any coaching that you have, all your memberships, like the gym, subscriptions.
Because it's all for the upkeep of you to make you marketable.
Right. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, wow.
I have an interesting story. I'll get to that in a minute. Your travel.
Like I had to get my nails done yesterday for a photo shoot today. I'm writing that off.
Absolutely. You will want to. Now your cell phone. If you work out of your house, which I do sometimes, I take a deduction for my internet and my electricity.
So let's dig into that a little bit more, because specifically for like people like us who do use our personal cell phone for acting and like that kind of stuff, but then also
that's your mode of communication. Write the whole thing off.
Because I've had some people tell me, because I have a quote unquote 9-to-5 job, and then I also am a model and an actress. They're like what was one thing? There was an outfit that I had to buy for a test shoot that I ended up not returning, but I only used it for that test shoot. The tax preparer that I was talking to before said that I couldn't write that off because I could potentially use it in my non-acting life.
Well, technically that's correct.
How they know?
I mean,
asking for a friend.
No, I was asking for a friend. You just said you.
Well, this is past year. This is a while ago.
She's like, don't pay attention.
My thought was the purpose of it was for my entrepreneurial life. And so I want to apply all the applicable tax
Yes, of
benefits to that. So my understanding was that I could add that into my deductions. But that person at that time told me that I couldn't because, it had that quote unquote overlap.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true. But, how am I going to know that? If you tell me that and this is just me, okay? If you tell me that you bought an outfit for a shoot and yes, you can wear it to work, I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. That I didn't ask you that. You said you bought this outfit for a shoot. Okay, we're good. We're writing that off.
And that's the same thing like with the gym. Like all of us have like a gym membership,
right.
but we also do get like W-2s like from our
right.
federal like employer.
Right.
But still, that's something that we as entrepreneurs and
yes.
performers, we can write off our gym membership.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And your cell phone and your food to and from and your Uber back and forth.
You can do all of that.
I hope y'all taking notes.
But you can't write off your travel.
Yes, you can.
But you just said earlier.
On your itemized deductions for your job, for your 9 to 5.
Thank you for clarifying that for me and the listeners.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking. So if you got to fly to California to do whatever, I go to South Africa twice a year but I don't have a 9 to 5. But I go to South Africa twice a year to teach financial literacy. I write off the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And what was the cap for that? What was the amount that you said that I guess the standard deduction?
The standard deduction?
Yeah.
Oh, 12,500.
It's 12,500 for single person. For head of household, it's 18,000. For married filing jointly is 24,000, and married filing separately is the same as single.
Just so like our listeners have an idea of like, all right, they're gonna start here and just start filing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. But make sure you meet that number.
Right, and they come up to like $102.23. Like,
exactly.
why even do it?
Right.
Exactly.
So that's why it's been said that it just doesn't matter anymore. It matters, but it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
So that's why you want to write this stuff off on the business side and have your LLC so it can all kick back to that.
We're getting it.
So just want to reiterate something just for my own clarity, just to make sure that I pay attention.
And this is for you, not for Robert or Samantha.
No, this is for me.
Solid.
This
okay.
is just
RNS.
Real nigga shit.
I just heard that. RNS.
That's what it stands for. When you say it doesn't meet the requirements, does that mean how much you've made? Because I have an example. No, that doesn't. Okay, cool.
No, it doesn't
so my question is so as a part-time employee of an organization, obviously I get the W-2 like we were saying, but then doing acting gigs that are on the table and below the table, and other things that are below the table and some are above. Like I've gotten from Empire Casting and several different other, like the W-2 that you've done for 5 or so shows, whatever. And
the 1099 miscellaneous.
Yes, and it doesn't come up to a lot,
right.
In this grand scheme of things, like each one. What if you don't have all of that information at the time of filing? What happens, or what can happen, or what should happen, or what won't happen?
Well,
all of those.
I know as an accountant that you as an actor, it costs you something to do those jobs. Right. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't have it written down, or it's not, if you don't have a receipt, if it's not in a spreadsheet or on a profit and loss statement, give me an estimate. How much did it cost you? Did you take an Uber? Did you eat? Did you get coffee? Did you have to buy clothing? I'm going to ask you if you had those, some sort of recollection of it. And then I'm going to tell you, moving forward, here's what I think you should do. You either got to hold on to the receipts, right? Calculate all that stuff up by the end of the year and bring it to your tax preparer, or so that you can have it yourself to use for TurboTax, and you will know exactly how much you've spent to do, or how much it cost you, or the investment that it took for you to do what you do.
I'm glad you actually said that, because that was something that I brought up before, just in my personal conversation, not with Robert or Samantha. This is just amongst other people. For a long period of time, especially like what we learned when we start doing our own taxes, that it's important to hold on to your receipts.
Yes.
My aunt is great in this, and this is the conversation I actually even had with her, because her credit, she is 67, and her credit score is 890 or something like that.
Word.
It's pretty.
She put me on her card.
She gets let me explain something to you. My aunt, shout out to Aunt Karen,
Yes, Aunt Karen.
You remember, right? She gets she just gets stuff from HSN just because she's a valued customer. They just send her stuff.
wow.
You know, and her credit is so good.
Right,
you know,
right.
and I've opened her drawers, and somebody once told her that, you know, you have a balance from set date. And she said, what date, what month, and what year? She opened up a drawer, and it had whole entire filings. She had
I knew I liked Aunt Karen.
she doesn't play. So, you know, and 5 minutes later, she's, I'm going to call you back in 5 minutes. Called them back in 5 minutes and said, here's the confirmation number, this and that, whatever, yada, yada. So I bring all that to say, how should someone go about that from the very beginning? Like how you just said, what happened?
Okay, she
I
wants
was raising
she
my
wants to
hand.
answer.
Go ahead.
No,
ahead.
please, you're
No,
the
no.
expert. I know I'm about to learn something too. I feel like I have a good system, but you can always learn something.
Yeah. So how should somebody go about that, freshly starting out?
So again, if you're not going to do this electronically, keep your receipts. I don't want them. Don't bring them to me. I'm not, or I'm going to charge you like $1,000 to go through all of this. I'm just not. Otherwise,
Sidebar, thank you, Mom, for throwing out my big bag of receipts that I had at one point in time. But go ahead, continue, because that's what it was for.
Well,
She's like, what is all these papers for? You don't need this.
Well, then there's also your bank statements. So most of us don't really carry cash. We don't carry cash. We don't pay cash for anything. We swipe our debit cards, and so it's on it what you did to get to your job, how much you invested to get to the jobs. It's probably on your bank statement. Go through your bank statements once a month, or once a week, or once a year. That's your business. No judgments, and find out what was for business and what was for personal. Now you can also hook your bank account up to Mint or Every Dollar. Or there's another one I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's also QuickBooks Self-Employed. And all of that stuff will go right into the program. You can sit down once a week, once a month, once a year, once a quarter, whatever, no judgments, and go through all of your business expenses. And with QuickBooks, I like it. Yes, it's like $5-6 a month. For me, it's completely worth it. You can swipe right for personal, swipe left for business, and then at the end of the year, it'll spit you out a profit and loss statement, which is what businesses have. We have profit and loss statements, balance sheets, et cetera, et cetera, and you give it to your accountant, or you pull it out yourself and you put in your expenses in TurboTax or whatever program you like to use, and like you don't have to think about that. For me, again, it's worth it, and the $5 a month is also a deduction. So,
okay, let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
For now, what about those who are on public assistance? Is there something specific that they have to do? I mean, because let's say that you receive money from the government to help pay your rent or whatever
Right,
it is.
right.
Is there something? No, I don't want to live chat now. I just went to QuickBooks and she said live chat. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
is there
they do that
immediately?
You can also use Mint. Mint is the same company as QuickBooks. It's Intuit, but Mint is consumer. QuickBooks is a little bit more business, but Mint is free. Okay. So anyway,
No,
Yeah.
I'll add that right.
So
I was saying,
so public assistance is not earned income. It's not taxable. So if people get whatever it is, $128, I don't know what it is, $63, I don't know. But never mind. Just don't look at me like that. Just never mind. But that money is not taxable. So I'm a disabled veteran, so I get a disability check every first of the month. That money is free. It's not free. I pay for it, but I don't have to report that
money that you're going to get
income.
charged.
Yeah,
because you got it.
Yeah, there's no tax on that money.
Okay. So when you said not taxable income or not what income?
Earned income.
Explain just a little bit part about that to me, because there are certain, like, how we have housing lotteries, right?
Yes.
So I know people who, and these are actual people, guys, stop looking at me with judgment.
I was waiting for the rest of the question.
No, so I know people who are trying to get in the housing lotteries,
Right.
or who have this, who've applied and have used their whatever is paid towards their rent or whatever is paid towards them
Right.
as earned income. Is that not the same?
It's not earned income. It's just a part of their income profile. So my disability is part of my income profile, along with what I earn through the business and from coaching and consulting and this other thing. So all of that is considered if I were to go and apply for an apartment or try to get a mortgage or a car. All of that is all inclusive. So it's not earned, but it is a part of the income profile. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking just a lot of questions, just so I'm trying to think of
please
other
ask me
questions.
questions.
I'm thinking of questions that people can possibly have.
Right.
Well, I want to ask a specific question about me. So with when I'm for modeling, I'm represented by an agency, and my agency takes 20% of whatever I get paid, like from a job, and they take that and then give me the rest of it. I can claim that 20%, can't I?
I don't see why not.
Amen.
An A is called an agent fee or an agency fee.
Right.
Yep.
Good thing I keep meticulous records.
Yep. Very good.
She does, yo.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's so funny to see you get so excited.
I am.
Desserts
and talking about
organization.
And organization. I love it.
She just had an orgasm.
I did.
This is kind of like a weird. Well, I guess it's not weird, but would you ever recommend to anybody and say like it's okay for them not to file taxes? Because I feel a lot of people go whatever, and just keep it moving. I know that you stress for people to file taxes like from in the past, but is there any a moment where the people just say I just can't deal with it, and you go all right, that's all right?
It depends on where they are and what kind of conversation we've had. If they're not in a headspace to deal with it at the time, okay, got it. I'll put you on extension. We can come back to it August, September. You have until October the 15th. And if they're still not ready to, fine, that's on you, but understand that there's a consequence. We live in America. If you earn money in America,
This is America.
you'll get to file taxes in
United
America.
States of America Incorporated.
Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it just kind of if they're talking to me, I'm gonna fill them out. I'm not like you gotta file your taxes because that's the law. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's the law, but if you just can't deal with it, and sometimes we just can't. So every day is not a great day. It's just not, and it's unrealistic for us to think that. So if you're not in a headspace to do it, let's deal with it some other time. But understand if you don't deal with it, you will get dealt with.
Mm-hmm. I just asked that question because I know a lot of people who have said I gotta file taxes and they dread it and wind up they have to pay
Exactly
$12,000, whatever it is.
But that's the
and
consequence.
they can't deal with it.
That's the consequence that I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and bite the bullet. If you can't pay the $12,000, set up a payment plan. Send them $25,000. As long as you're paying it, you're good. You might outlive, the debt might outlive you, but it'll keep them off your behind.
You hear that, Samantha? You're good for now. So I'm gonna call you.
So.
No, Robert just gave fucked up information.
Oh boy. So digging into that a little bit more, are there other circumstances that qualify people to file for an extension? Like what are the typical circumstances people file for an extension under? And what, just so people understand what that means too, like you still have to file.
Right.
This is literally just a file extension. I think some people think like, oh, I'll just file an extension, and then they never follow up with it.
That's true.
And then you have a lien.
And
yeah,
I learned that one year.
yeah,
That's me.
you'll get a lien at some point. Life happens. Somebody may get sick, or I may get sick, and okay, I'm sick, I'm in the hospital. File, hit me up with the extension, please, and we'll square it away on the back end. Or a business. I have a business now in my office, and the paperwork is this. I'm gonna put him on extension because I just don't have time to. I can't. And he was cool with it. So if a lot of corporations in big business put their returns on extension, and then the accountants say, like at the big four, the top four, the big four, what do they call the big four? Ernst & Young, Deloitte & Touche, they will, KPMG, Price Waterhouse, then the accountants work on their returns because they take days and days and days to do one return. So they'll put them on extension. So again, you got a business, you're not ready to file, same deal. So it's those kinds of situations that would constitute an extension. And, if you're just being trifling, call a spade, just being trifling. I forgot. Then, Vaughn, can you put me on extension? Yeah, sure, not a problem. Yeah, I file a lot of extensions.
Are there
215.
are there any fees associated with filing an extension?
Not in my office. I just do it. Huh. Maybe I should charge.
Oh no, just asking. No.
We're gonna edit that part out just so you guys know.
No, I
But that your tax preparer might charge a fee, but
Yes.
the government doesn't charge a fee for you to file an extension.
No, I mean, and then you still may get hit with the late filing penalty, but you won't get hit with the other one, the non-filing.
Why would you get hit with a late filing penalty if you filed for an extension? It's just incentives for you to do your taxes by April 15th.
This is America.
Well, there you go.
Give me your money.
I would really like to say, I would personally like to thank all the, and I'm going to say it, and I don't really care, and y'all know where I'm probably going to go with this, but you don't even know because you're looking at me like I'm crazy. Thank you to all the...
I always look at you.
Thank you to all the mid-America, middle-aged white women who voted for Trump. Continue.
Okay.
Amen. Shout out to you.
No, for real, because that's actually how he won. So,
Yeah, that's
majority
how he won.
was,
That's true.
you know,
Yeah,
middle-aged
women,
white-
that's true.
Yeah, but they
middle-aged
ain't happy now.
Right now it's
They
a problem.
kinda pissed off.
Boom, boom, boom. Wow.
Hey, Vaughn. We talked a lot about the taxes, so I wanted to get into another area in which a service you provide is the credit repair,
Yes.
because a lot of us have bad credit,
Mm-hmm.
and
Do we?
so I like to.
Blair's over here
Yes.
doing a dance.
Lot
Okay,
of most of
we
us
do.
got
I mean,
bad credit.
go ahead.
I'm speaking for the majority, but I'm just saying a lot of us have bad credit.
Right.
And I had a chance to look around your wonderful website, activateincrease.com.
Yes. Thank you.
Activateincrease.com. And I see that you do the credit repair and that you support clients with debt management, identity theft protection, credit report protection, and credit score improvement. So talk to me about how you may work with a person who comes to you, whether they're single, they're married, how you deal with them when they, like, for a person who wants to like buy a house or do a major investment, but they need to get their credit in order. So how do you help a person in a situation who needs to have some credit repair?
Well, first we got to look at all of their incomes and all of their debts and decide a course of action. If they're in a lot of debt, we got to get the debt down. And that just means, there's going to be some deprivation somewhere. There can't be any shopping. Like, it's going to be like, a total cutback. And, we go from there. I like to use the snowball method, which is pay down your higher interest cards and loans first. Get a handle on your student loans. Nobody wants to pay them, but they are the only thing that cannot be charged off in bankruptcy. So you're going to pay it. Your kids are going to pay it. Your grandchildren are going to pay it. Somebody's going to pay it. Or if you have a death benefit, you die, that's the first place that your death benefit is going to go. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So question for you. When a person, like, for example, a person is doing it on their own, and let's say they go look at the top 3 to 7 or 8, as we were educated before, credit agencies to find out all their credit debt. Is it recommended for a person to do, and you may have to correct me on the term, but you know how they offer a settlement? Yeah, a settlement rate, or there's actually the full balance. Would you recommend the person do the settlement or they do the full balance? And what's the difference between doing the two?
The full balance is you pay off the whole debt. There's no consequence. If you do a settlement, the balance of the balance of the settlement now looks like income. So if you have $1,000 debt and you settle for $500, the $500 that's left over comes to you at the end of the year, and you have to pay taxes on it. It's taxable income. Yeah, so you'll get a 1099-C. So if anybody has gotten a 1099-C, please give it to your tax preparer or report it on your tax return if you do it yourself. Also, the underlying issue is that we are not taught about credit. We're not taught how credit works. And though I can speak for myself, I went to HBCU in the South, And these
H,
people,
B, C, U.
Oh, so
you love your
sorry.
H, you love your B, you love your C, and you love your U.
behold the green and gold, baby.
Damn.
Okay.
I love my historically black college and university. So yeah, I would see these, we would see them, perched up on the campus in front of the dorm, in front of the student union. Hey, come and sign up, and then they have, prizes and candy and M&Ms and, bullshit stuff on the table.
Because girl, bullshit.
Yeah. And here we are, oh, we get a credit card, right? Okay. And you don't have any credit. So what this does is going to build your credit. But you're in college. You ain't got no job. And if you do got a job, back then the minimum wage was $3.35 an hour. Don't judge me. It was $3.50 an hour. So who
Wait,
gonna
how
pay?
old is you?
I am 50 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
Come
Don't look
on.
a day over
Black
30.
don't
Black
crack.
don't crack.
Don't look
unless-
a day
What I'm
over
talking
30.
Black
Yes.
don't. One more time, guys.
Yes,
I'm
Vaughn.
gonna say this again. Black don't crack unless you want crack. Continue, please.
Say something. So yeah. It's true. Credit cards do help us to build credit. However, we have to pay it back, right? You have to pay the credit card back in some good amount of time. You cannot run your credit cards up to the limit, but that's not what they're telling the students. They're telling, you can do, and so now, hey, I have a $3,000 limit. And so what does the kid do on the weekend?
Spends $3,000.
Man, what in the whole weekend? They done went and rented a car. They out with their friends. They popping bottles. They're they buying expensive liquor. They done went to the store. They done bought every pair of Jordans since 1985. They
There's
are
so many
credit
flashbacks right now.
Card.
Lowered
It's a credit card, not a free money card.
Well, that's not well. And see, you know what? I would love to have this
cheese.
conversation with you in depth another time because I want you to actually come back and we can talk more about this in depth.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned for part 2. Vom talks about credit.
Discover. That's how Discover got me. And who used Discover? But anyway,
Right. So,
me too. That's how Capital One got me. Speaking of that,
exactly. So,
but you know what, Vaughn?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
No, please
go ahead.
continue.
She's finishing her
No, I was
thought.
just saying that, to all of the parents, to all of the college students listening, leave the credit cards alone until you can afford it. I'm not saying that they're bad, but cash is king. If you cannot buy 3 of them with cash, you cannot afford it. Students, please leave those credit cards alone. You don't need credit right now. Yeah, okay, but I got to get an apartment. Well, that might be true, but if you're 22, 23 years old and you're graduating from college, the apartment complexes know that you don't have no credit. They know that already. So they're looking at your income and they're determining whether you can afford to pay the rent. If you get kicked out, that is your fault. That has nothing to do with your credit score or your credit your credit reports. So well, I'm gonna need credit to get a car. No, you're not. Just like chill out, but leave the credit cards alone. You're already in student loan. You're already in student loan debt. Handle that. Pay that back. Right?
Ooh.
Wow. A quick question about the identity theft protection, because I know one time an identity theft caught me. I paid a bill on the phone and I gave them my card. That was the first and last time I've ever done that, where I gave them my card number over the phone. And the next thing you know, I get a call from Visa. Hey, you have these suspicious charges on your account. And then at the time, I actually had identity theft protection with the infamous LifeLock. You guys remember that company where the CEO put his social security card out there and then he got hacked?
Yep.
But anyway, I actually contacted LifeLock and they told me, well, if Visa contacted you, then they're gonna be able to solve your problem. Let us know if Visa can't solve it. And I was like, okay, no problem. I can cancel my service then. Thank you. But for those people that do experience identity theft and don't have the protection, in what way are you able to help these clients?
Yeah, see, that's a hard one. LifeLock is probably the best one. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't have an answer for that. Once your identity is out there, it's out there. But at the end of the day, nothing is really secure. If a hacker wants your information, they're going to get it. It doesn't matter, where they are in the world, they're going to get it. And we can lock down our stuff as much as we possibly can. But if somebody really wants it, they're going to get it. Now, I always say, take it. Because for a minute it was really bad. Just go ahead and take it, and you won't get nothing. But go ahead. So we can put things in place, LifeLock, put identity theft or some sort of measure in place with your credit cards, because most credit card companies with the bigger banks like American Express or Chase have ID theft protection, and then but they have the backing to go after these people and get them. We don't. Well, we might, but who wants to pay a lawyer and the cops and all of that? They have a whole teams and whole departments in place to go ahead and square that away. So if your particular credit card, you get a credit card that does not have ID theft, you might want to take
get on to that,
or reconsider.
So I know that we could continue talking about this forever. I know I could.
Yeah, so can I.
Yes, I know.
That's
That's
my
why
thing.
we're gonna have more conversations. I feel it. I feel the vibe. So, but let's go ahead and just wrap things up. And as you can tell, we're a bunch of foodies here. We like to eat, and we always end every meal with dessert. So, if you could share with us what your favorite go-to dessert is, and then with that, just kind of give us and the listening audience, like, what is it from this conversation, or just from you as a tax preparer, tax consultant, tax advisor in general, what is it that you think is the most important thing for people to take away from conversations like this?
Okay, my dessert first?
Yes.
Jesus.
Because I feel like dessert should come at the beginning of the meal.
Nasty sweet tooth, and I eat it at the beginning as well. It's banana pudding. Yeah, and cake and ice cream and candy. So
with vanilla wafers or with
I thought that was
so have to make that today.
I knew I felt the vibe. I knew it.
No, but this is important though. Wait, while he coughs it up, with chest-made crackers or with actual vanilla?
The chessman, absolutely. The chessman cookies. Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know.
That completely.
No, Nilla wafers is what I grew up on, but when I got a
wafers.
hold of them chessman
That completely caught me
Game
off guard, because
changer.
we asked you for one dessert and you was just like, and cookies and candy and cake.
If you put it all on one plate, it's one dessert.
It's a girl.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
While we're on that
I
subject, what is your final thought?
My takeaway is that love yourself enough to treat yourself like royalty. In other words, how you feel about yourself will directly show up in your finances. So, and that's from the 5-year-old all the way up to the 106-year-old oldest person. So, like love yourself enough not to get yourself in a situation that could be detrimental.
I just
Wait,
got.
I want to narrate this, because when
That
you
is so
that was
beautiful.
such an inspirational
Wow.
quote right there, because we
All
all
of us
got
caught
up and
the
just
spirit.
started.
No,
I'm at a loss for words. That's really good. Thank you for
Wow.
that.
That is such a prophetic final thought. I tell you what, girl, what is you coming back? We
I
need
just melted
more.
in my skin.
Whenever you
All
say,
right.
you say the word, I'm a money coach. So it's my job to coach you to your highest possibility, whatever that may be, in your finances, in your love life, in your job, in your career. That is what I
Just
do.
rich
Tax
all around.
tax preparation is from January to April. The rest of the year, I got you. We run marathons. Let's get ourselves financially free. Let's live in abundance, so that we don't die broke, which is my hashtag.
Amen.
Don't die broke.
So really quick then, where can everybody find you? Find your stuff. Find your website.
Yes.
You give it to us.
www.activateincrease.com. My office number is 646-796-9018. www.activateincrease.com. If you want to make appointments with me or pay for services, I have a coaching program. It's www.don'tdiebroke.info.
What's the address of your office?
I like that.
I am at WeWork
do you-
Harlem, and that's on 126th and 5th Avenue. And I'm there all the time.
All the time. Thank you so much, Vaughn, for coming on as a guest today.
My pleasure.
So you're officially our financial advisor, just to let you know.
Solid.
Thank you guys for taking another time to listen to another episode of Highly Melanated. As always, you can follow us on Instagram. You can at Highly Melanated Podcast. You can email us any questions, comments, concerns, ideas. How you felt about this episode. Where can you find other information? Whatever we will supply. At highlymelanatedpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. That's H_melanatedpod. Thank you guys to everybody who actually did vote for us for the awards. Unfortunately, we did not win, but we are grateful enough to be nominated. And so we thank you guys who did participate. And yeah, so of course, as always, peace, love, and
decrease that standard financial deduction.
don't die broke.
Don't die broke.
Don't die broke.
Don't die broke.
All right, guys.
Change it. New tax law.